When it comes to walleye fishing in the Great Lakes region, all eyes are usually focused on Lake Erie. Nearby Lake St. Clair isn't a great lake, but it is a Great Lake connecting waterway. This often overlooked fishery ranks as one of the best kept secrets in walleye fishing. This week, Fishing 411 TV host Jake Romanack teams up with offshore tackle pro staffer Rob Barnes. In this unique episode, Jake and Rob showcase some specialized trolling tactics en route to boating dozens of exceptional walleye.
Here we go.
Got one on the outside board there.
Yep. I'm gonna pop this and let this board swing to the back of the boat.
That's still, that's your high line there? Is
High
that
line, 45 back.
back.
This is a better fish. He sunk the board.
Rob's going to show me today what Lake St. Clair is all about. You know, we're going to talk a ton about this fishery today and hopefully really showcase it for what it is. And it's a fishery that's an incredible fishery, but definitely overlooked. I mean, I live in Michigan. I've fished all over the state of Michigan. This is actually my first day ever walleye fishing on Lake St. Clair itself. So really excited to learn this fishery today, and hopefully we'll get to show you exactly how to catch these fish out here on Lake St. Clair.
So I've been fishing on Lake St. Clair since I was 5. My dad took me when I was really little, and it kind of always stuck with me after that. I've been fortunate to be part of the Lake St. Clair Walleye Association. My dad got involved in the early 2000s, and the club's been around since 1976. Actually, they were founded to prevent commercial netting on the lake. So we're really big into conservation. Obviously, showing people this fishery, it's an outstanding walleye fishery. We know a lot, that it gets a lot of attention from the smallmouth and muskie standpoint, but hopefully we'll see today how good of a walleye fishery it is. And so far, it has not disappointed. Here's the board.
I'll go ahead and pull that board off for you.
Appreciate it.
Nice tight line there.
Yeah, feels
like a pretty good fish.
Feels pretty good, Jake. We got 40 left on the counter. Particularly what we're targeting is a flat that gets loaded full of fish. There's tons of bait here. Nice head shakes. 15 left. And the walleye stay here as soon as the water kind of cools off. Here we go.
Staying down really nice. Oh yeah, that's a great fish. A little closer. Got him in the scoop.
Welcome to Lake St. Clair, my friends.
A beautiful walleye.
And sometimes these fish like gobies too. So natural baits is a key here on Lake St. Clair. Their primary forage is perch. And that one wanted the goby.
That is a beautiful fish right there.
So I've been fishing the past few weekends getting ready for this, and we have not caught them quite this class, Jake. So I'm really excited. I think we're gonna have a lot more good fish to be brought in the boat. And in fact, we've got another one on right now on the inside board.
Well, it's keeping us busy today, but I gotta take at least 2 seconds to take a look at that one, because that is a gorgeous walleye. You know, I'm excited to hopefully put a couple more of these in the boat today, but it's just gonna get better and better as the year goes on, right?
Absolutely.
Go ahead and release this outside board. It's kind of chaos so far this morning. I don't know if we've had all the lines in the water, and that's a good thing. You know, Rob has been out here the last couple weeks and he's been figuring these fish out, so it makes it pretty easy when he's basically got them in a pen for us to come out here and catch. So a lot of times when we're filming television shows, we're figuring out the bite as we're shooting the show. But in this situation, we kind of had the lead lengths figured out, the colors figured out. We were able to come out here and really put a good pattern together. So we're going to show you exactly how we're doing this because it's a little bit different. You know, we're fishing that southern end of Lake St. Clair right now. So you're actually fishing it more so like a river, correct?
Yeah.
As far as the current goes. Right now we're trolling into the wind, and in my opinion, I never like to really troll into the wind, but you have a current and you got to take that into consideration. So we're actually trolling with the current. So even though we're trolling straight into the wind, we're going with the current going down into the Detroit River. There you go, bud.
All right.
A nice fish.
Yeah, all right, Jake.
Well, finally got this fish tangled out of the net, Rob. Another beautiful walleye.
I tried to make it a little easier for you, but it doesn't always work out that way.
Well, what I want to do is I want to get this fish unhooked and back in the water, and then I want you to show me exactly how you set this because that's pretty interesting, and maybe I'll duplicate it over on my side.
Sounds good.
Special considerations are provided by Precision Trolling Data and the Lake St. Clair Walleye Association. Special considerations provided by the Ultimate Sport Show Tour, Michigan's elite sport shows.
So right now on our inside line, we're running a offshore tackle pro weight 2-ounce snap weight on the inside. That's helping us get bait that doesn't dive deeper. It's a Rapala F11, and what we're doing is about 20 feet line, snapping on that 2-ounce snap weight and another 25 feet. That's getting me pretty close to the bottom. Now what I'm doing is I'm running this planer board to the side to get the bait away from the boat so it's not going to spook the fish. But most importantly, because I got that weight there, I do not want this bait crashing the bottom because if I do, I'm going to get quagga mussels and dead weeds. So what I'm doing is I'm turning on the clicker and loosening up on the drag, and that lets me slow roll the planer board out to the side and get the board out nice and slow, keep that bait from touching bottom and keeping me fishing. And also if I'm helping Jake out with something or doing something else on the boat, if I get a fish, that drag's going to scream and I'm going to hear him. So cool little trick. We like to do that running planer boards, and it's always been helpful for anywhere I fished. In fact, there's one right now. The clicker is talking to us. It's really important on these fish that are on with snap weights that you give them time to pull the slack out of the line so they hook themselves. So we let them take our time.
Another one on there, Rob?
Yep. And we got stroked on the other board. That's a double, Jake.
Feels like a pretty good fish. Pull that snap weight off there for you.
I appreciate it. And we have yet to get our full set of lines out. Some good head shakes. Yeah, they want these larger crankbaits 12 feet down.
Nice fish.
Yeah. These are going to be our bread and butter fish on Lake St. Clair, and there's tons of them available all year long. So if you guys are coming out and you're from the Metro Detroit area, if you haven't fished St. Clair, you're missing something truly special. Goodbye, my friend.
You know, if you've watched Fishing 411 in the past, you've definitely seen us put Pro Cure on because we pretty much put it on everything. And I truly believe that it catches us more fish. But where it really shines is applications like this when the water's cold. Now this water's dropping fast. It's that fall time frame. Right now it's the month of November. And just a couple weeks ago, the water was in the high 50s, and now we're looking at 48-degree water temp. And when the water drops that fast, adding things like scent makes a huge difference. These fish are more lethargic. Trolling slower is kind of the name of the game when it comes to fall time trolling. And then what you want is you want the right action. You put the right action crankbait out there and it smells good, you tend to get fish to hit it a little bit harder. One of the things you'll find in the fall is fish will bite and they'll bite short. It's because they're truly not fooled. They see that bait, they see it, they want to eat it, they might swat at it, but you just don't simply get a lot of those hookups. We found when we put Pro Cure on the bait, we get those fish to bite a little bit harder and it seems like we get a little bit better hookups. Now in this application, there's a lot of different bait fish out here, but there's a lot of perch on this flat. So what I've chose to use is the trophy perch, which is actually ground up perch, and so you have the actual perch scent that I'm putting on the lure. Now the lure that I just put out has a perch pattern and it smells like a perch. So the way I look at it, you just simply can't go wrong. Here on Lake St. Clair, you have a perch looking bait that smells like perch and you're going to catch walleyes.
So what we're doing today is we're targeting a flat that is swept with heavy current as it funnels right into the Detroit River. In particular, we're targeting 18, 19 feet of water, and there's these little subtle humps here that hold vegetation, quagga mussel beds, and that's where the bait is. The reason we're fishing here is because we have all the right conditions, food, environment, and then the walleyes are there. Additionally, these fish can slip in and off of the shipping channel. We're fishing rather close to the shipping channel. That's our main big piece of structure, if you will, out here. Literally, every fall and winter, this whole flat gets loaded up full of perch, bait, and because of that, tons of walleye. We have tons of great eating class fish, and tell you what, anywhere you go, this is a great walleye. There's a lot bigger fish in here too, but consistently day in, day out, plenty of these available on the lake.
You know, we've already kind of mentioned today about the direction of which we're trolling. We're trolling with the current. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you on my graph exactly what I mean by that, because even though this is a lake, we're fishing far enough south within the lake that it fishes more like a river as far as the currents go. Now, Rob was saying at any time maybe 0.8 to 1 mile an hour currents is what we're dealing with, and so we want to be able to troll straight with the current for the most part. You can see on the map here, you see the Detroit River is just to the south of us here, and right now we are literally fishing right at the Detroit River. In fact, the Detroit River right there is right there, and I can see Peach Island off in the distance. So what we're doing is we're going with the current. Now, even though the wind is coming completely opposite and we're trolling into the wind, you want to keep your baits going with the current. One of the things is if you troll into the current, you have to slow your speed down. Now your crankbait's working a lot harder because it's pushing into the current, and so you get a lot more aggression or a lot more action on your crankbait by going into the current. So if you want to go with the current, you can go a little bit faster and you can cover more water. In my opinion, you're going to be better off going with the current to catch these walleyes.
Special considerations are provided by Trailmaster Trailers and Daiwa Corporation. Special considerations are provided by Procure, ruthlessly effective bait scents. Eagle Claw presents the 411 on fishing.
If you're an avid troller for trout, salmon, or even walleye, you've probably come to the conclusion that flash is a big advantage at bringing fish into your presentation and it gets you a lot more bites. And one of the cool things that you can do is you can add more flash to different trolling presentations by using a new product from Yakima Bait. It's called an Adibuzz. And the Adibuzz comes in 4 different sizes and it comes in 4 different colors. And what you can do with this is you can hook it directly onto diving planers, things like the Dipsy diver, or maybe things like the tadpole diver. You can even hook them onto floating divers like a jet diver if you want. You can even put them on inline sinkers like the Guppy Weights if you prefer. It's very simple to rig one up. I got a bunch of these set up here just so you can see them, but basically just attach it to the back of the diver and then attach your leader to the back of the Adibuzz back to your presentation, whether it be a spoon or a spinner or whatever you happen to be fishing on the business end. And when this thing is being pulled in the water, all the Adibuzz does is spin. And when it's spinning, of course, it's creating more flash in the water and attracting more fish into your presentation. One of my favorite ones is this tadpole setup right here. We use this all the time for trolling for walleyes. It works very, very well. Chartreuse, of course, is always a good color for walleye, but silver works good, as does the gold flash as well. And then if you like inline weights, this is a Guppy Weight made by Offshore Tackle. Of course, I've downsized the spinner on this one to make it a little bit smaller, so you can have a little bit less flash if you want. So you can upsize the Adibuzz if you're looking for more flash. You can downsize the Adibuzz if you're looking for less flash. The way I look at that, if the water is clear, I'm going to go with a smaller Adibuzz. If the water is off color or stained, I'm going to go with a larger Adibuzz.
Got one on the outside here. Been doing the loop trick on these offshore boards, and what that allows me to do is to shuffle the boards out of formation and ultimately reduce tangles. So good trick. Oftentimes you just pop the board, hold it for a moment, that fish isn't going to go anywhere, and the board and the fish will coast right to the back of the boat. Makes it really easy. So one of the things that really got me started to fishing this lake and seeing how truly special it was being a member of the Lake St. Clair Walleye Association. My dad's been a long-time member. He's been executive financial secretary for a long time, and quite frankly, the club is all about education, conservation, and promoting opportunities for people to get to know this fishery. From there, I've been fishing club derbies and kind of got my interest sparked in doing tournament fishing with this stuff. And being part of a club is just, I can't say enough. It gets you connected with like-minded people that enjoy doing things in the outdoors that we're all like-minded about. Our club is actually growing. We're over 330 members strong, multi-generational, truly generations of people in here. A lot of young folks are getting involved. We're focusing on trying to get great quality speakers in, helping people learn the fishery, and promoting guys to go check out how great this fishing really is. Scoopity-doo. Fish. All right.
You know, Rob, you're talking about the club there while you're fighting this fish, and one of the things that I really saw about the club that impressed me was the amount of younger people. Now, there's a lot of great clubs out there, but it seems to be a little bit older generation is involved in clubs, and that's just simply not the case at the Lake St. Clair Walleye Association. There's a lot of young guys involved, and that's the future of conservation here and protecting these fisheries and just getting guys excited about fishing. This is a big body of water, and there's a lot of stuff going on out here, and it can be, well, where do you start? But when you're involved in a club like the Lake St. Clair Walleye Association, it really helps you understand this fishery. You can learn the fishery better, and you can become a better fisherman because of it. And come out here and catch a bunch of these fish.
Yep. So kind of looking at the fishery as a whole, earlier in the season when that water's cooler, you have literally migrations of fish from Lake Erie, Lake Huron, and our resident fish intermingling because it's connected by the river and the St. Clair River. A lot of times these fish start near warmer water where we're getting discharged from tributaries and rivers. Earlier in the season, you're going to be closer to shore. Frankly, from there, the next thing you look for is when you get emerging vegetation. Early summer, we start to get our weed beds popping up. Weed beds attract the bait like emerald shiners and perch. Perch is the primary forage for bigger walleyes on this lake. We're fishing here in the fall, transitioning towards the winter, and we're just fishing nutrient-rich, bait-loaded flats that are just full of bait and perch.
Right on cue. Just like you said, we basically just were doing an S-curve, turning the boat just a little bit, pause those boards, just like that. Right on cue, one bites.
And drop the bait back, and that will trigger bites.
This is a nice fish, too.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful fish.
That right there is a beautiful Lake St. Clair walleye. That's what we came here for.
Special considerations are provided by Cisco Fishing Systems and Striker Brands. Go early, go late, go prepared. Additional considerations provided by Fish Hawk Electronics. Trolling without a fish hawk is called boating.
We got the loop trick going here, so I'm going to set this free so I'm clear from my inside. Gotta love it.
The fundamental basics of keeping your outside line your highest line and your inside line your deepest line, the loop trick works great. Literally, you could just release that board just like that. It swings to the back of the boat, and we don't have to touch another line. So we haven't changed our speed, and we haven't changed anything.
I'm going to let you get this board for me.
Pop that off, and this feels pretty heavy, Rob.
Feels not bad. Back off on the drag a little bit. They like to run, seeing the boat. 18 feet on the counter. Here's the boat now. 10.
Oh yeah, that's a nice fish. Same cookie cutter, man. We have been spoiled with a lot of fish this size today, haven't we?
I'll take it.
Rob, this outside board is just buried, buddy.
All right, man.
I wonder what we got on here, man. The thing just acted more like a bobber than a planer board. It just screamed back.
Well, you let me know when you're ready for that board to come off, but it is buried right now.
I forgot what the lead is on this. I think I dropped it a little bit lower. I had it higher up. We'll see when we get to the board, but it's hard to keep track. You know, one of the fundamentals of trolling that I think gets overlooked because it's just very much the basics, but if you're just learning how to troll, one of the things that you really need to look into are line counter reels. It is by far probably the most important tool to trolling because trolling is all about duplication. You want to be able to put a lead out there, and by a lead I mean how far you put that lure behind the board, and then you want to be able to duplicate that. So in this case today, 45 back has been pretty good for us. What we've been able to do is take all of our lures, or the majority of our lures, and put them exactly 45 back. So we're just duplicating. One lead works, we duplicate it to the next lead and to the next lead, and that's the beauty of trolling. You get to fish a lot of lines here in Michigan. We're going to have you pull this board here, Rob. It's pretty close.
My pleasure. There's some weight on there, my
Yeah,
friend.
anxious to see what this thing is, because it is heavy, whatever it is. 10 feet straight down. This one's feeling like the right flavor. Ooh, come on, baby. Oh yeah, that's a nice fish.
Yep. Right when you are, my friend.
He is spunky. Closer.
Yep.
Nice fish.
That's a great fish, Jake.
Nice fish. That is a gorgeous fish right there, buddy.
That's what I'm talking about.
And we have just had a lot of fun today. You know, we're pretty blessed in Michigan. We get to fish a lot of lines, and I was talking about while I was fighting that fish, the fact that it's all about duplication. So we have our line counter reels and we can duplicate these leads. 45 foot has definitely been the best today, so we're just putting a lot of 45 foot leads out there and catching fish like this. But this is so cool because, I mean, look at, we talked about it, but this is like, you know, one of the biggest metropolitan areas in the Great Lakes region.
Right.
A lot of people live here, and you have fish like that just literally a half a mile offshore. That is so cool. What a beautiful fish. Rob, I got this fish coming pretty close here. He's only about 8 clicks out on the counter.
All right.
I'm staying down pretty nice. Oh yeah,
Oh
buddy.
my.
That's a nice fish.
Yes, it is.
Look at him stay down, just bulldogging. Get a little closer.
Almost.
Nice fish, buddy.
All right.
That is so cool. Another beautiful fish, buddy.
Heck yeah.
We have just had a blast today catching these walleyes out here on Lake St. Clair. Hey, my name is Jake Romanack. On behalf of Rob and myself, we appreciate you coming out and watching this show today. I hope you get out to Lake St. Clair and catch yourself a bunch of walleyes. It's a fishery that's overlooked, but I'm telling you, you need to get out here and catch you some of these fish. What a gorgeous fish, buddy.
I'll take that every day.
Closed captioning is provided by Lakeside Motorsports, Michigan's premier marine and power sports company. Fishing 411 is brought to you by Offshore Tackle, Lowrance Electronics, Starcraft Marine, Yamaha Outboards, Yakima Bait Company, Niagara Falls, USA, Smooth Moves, and Jay's Sporting Goods.
T-bone. All right.
Nice smallmouth though. Yeah. But when a smallmouth bites, I'm never upset. They're fun. That's a good one.